With archery season beginning, the group sets out on familiar hunting grounds. The constant wind, a hallmark of the prairies, lays the groundwork for the day's hunt. The direction of the wind being the greatest friend and foe, especially during the archery season. Both Kevin and Kelly, and Kelly's daughter Jessi, had ambitions of tagging an archery mule deer. With Kelsey, Kelly's youngest, the sight advantage of all four held many advantages. The group covered familiar ground, hiked through the vast prairie terrain. With the ascent up the deep valleys, the anticipation of a monster muley on the other side would only build. Then Kevin saw 2 does and a decent-sized buck grazing at a low point in a field. As they crept up the side of the field, inching closer, they drew their arrows and discussed a plan of attack. The plains of Saskatchewan are not as flat as they appear. Experience has taught both Kevin and Kelly that subtle elevation changes make finding game difficult without hiking in their own environment. Once the buck was spotted more clearly, the group was able to sit and watch what direction and how far 3 deer would go. Yards, the doe had spotted the group, but if one remains still, curiosity may take over. It's a game of distance. In typical fashion, the buck leads from the back of the group, waiting for the other deer to alert the dangers nearby. The curiosity of the does made the buck remain with the group and provide Kelly with a far but doable 60-yard shot. A tough vantage point. Kelly was too low. The curiosity that comes with missing only with an arrow and not a gun allows for a more clear look at what could have been. Undeterred, the hunt continued. As the afternoon finished up, the beginning of the early evening began, and time for grazing started. If opportunities presented themselves and the group was able to get within 60 yards or less, an attempt would be made. But the early evening is a key time for spotting and planning the next day's locations. It's times like this that the unique and usually large deer appear, and are located nearby past day's hike. With the first day coming to a close and the amount of bucks that appeared, the group had high ambitions the following day. Both Kevin and Kelly focused today on trying to get Jessi a buck. Being drawn for mule deer for the first time, Jessi wanted to get something unique. Tagging a muley with a bow would achieve that. With the determined focus of mule deer on the brain, the group had scared up a large whitetail buck, laying deep within a crop in the bottom of a small valley. Nonetheless, they didn't let that distract them and carried on. Sandhill cranes. Among other animals one experiences when outdoors, the large number of them and the clarity of their call was something to encounter. Kevin and Kelly decided to take Jessi and Kelsey to a location they had found great success in. The large steep hill with thick bushes was the perfect hiding spot for deer. The wind was right, however, the vantage point was problematic. The plan was for Kelly and Jessi to go straight up towards them on a path, while the rest of us stayed back and bet on the curiosity of the deer to keep them focused on us, not Kelly or Jessi. It was working. A hill stood between Kelly and Jessi and the group of deer. 50 yards would be the distance once the hill was crested. The way archery season had shaped up was that the deer were proving to be too hard to get close to, at least for archery season. For Jessi, she would get another chance during rifle season come November.
You go. First one to the dog is to shoot the big one. Okay, go. Let him go. Get the defibrillator ready.
Muzzleloader season is an exciting time. The deer that were just too far during archery were now within 100 plus yards of black powder. Friend of Kelly's, Ken Burgess, another first-time recipient of the mule deer draw, put his faith in the experience of both Kevin and Kelly at tracking down a muley buck. Spotting a smaller caliber deer cresting a hill, they figured more would be on the other side. To their surprise, not only did that buck stay in the bottom, but that it sat down with the two other bucks, one being quite heavy and wider than the other two below him. Ken set his sights on the buck at 140 yards.
Didn't even know it hit him. The other ones are still sitting there.
I don't even know. You just laid him down, buddy.
Woo! See ya.
Nice shot.
Nervous.
Shot. Look at him.
Thanks, Kevin.
Oh.
Awesome.
Woo! Yeah, I got the
I
shot.
Oh,
folded
perfect.
him over, and it was perfect because he would have been out of the smoke. Eh? I couldn't see him in the smoke.
Wow.
Wow. Well,
Did you film? Did you get those guys still
Yeah,
standing there?
Yeah, I got them.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we got
So,
Ken
thank
Burgess.
you guys.
Ken Burgess out. Last day of muzzleloader and smoked them.
Paid for the muzzle loader.
he's got a
I just
brand
got
new
this.
muzzle loader, and that's awesome to shoot one of that. He looks nice and heavy.
Yeah, he looked
and
really nice.
Works on him like
Yeah.
I was surprised when I got here because the picture didn't really do him justice.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
so.
Really dark horns too, eh?
Oh, that looks nice.
That is awesome. So big.
The stories that emerge from a hunt not only began when an animal is harvested, but the time building up to that.
Hey, how's it going there? Packing the lunch, eh? This is the twin room. Sisters had to move their bed together. To Kelly. Kelly and I, we keep it apart. Where are they?
Rifle season, crunch time. With the increased distance, Jessi was keen on getting a character buck, leaving other slightly larger bucks in search of something more unique.
He's got 2 and then a 1 and then...
They're tired, hey?
Okay, here we are, first day, November 1st. Opening rifle for muleys, and Jessi got the lucky golden ticket. So, what do you figure for today?
It's a nice day. Wind's good.
Yeah, nice down here, out of the wind, this draw.
Yeah.
Got a couple bucks we're gonna go have a look at over.
Yeah. Saw some last night. We were out scouting.
Yeah, one heavy one, so he was in this area, so be good to find him and
Take a better look.
yeah, for sure.
Another one to the left there. This is a small one. Interesting.
As the day went on and finding deer started to get more difficult, a change of location was needed. As we continue to make our Flatland Pursuit videos, it's important for us to take this time and thank those who have supported us. Without you, we wouldn't be able to share our experiences and stories. Thank you to our sponsors. Moorstead Farms, Crown Advertising, Prairieland Taxidermy, Diamond S Ranch, T&K Oilfield Services, and TSP Oilfield Construction Limited. Having little luck in the new spot, the group went back to look for a muley buck they had captured on film briefly yesterday morning. When they went around a small hill, they were face to face with him, the unique November Velvet.
Biggest, but it's cool looking. I've never seen one that comes in quite like that. Oh. And then velvet.
Yeah, velvet November 1st. So, I mean, man, it's your first draw tag, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, we're gonna go check it out.
Let's
I
go
guess.
try the trail.
Cool. Well, got her all cut up, packed up here, so we're ready to head out and put her in the meat in the freezer. It was great. We've seen this buck a few times yesterday, and then even today we saw him a couple times. And Jessie decided that this is kind of the one that she kind of wanted to go after. So
First mule deer.
yeah,
First draw tag. That's different. I know.
Yeah, well, you wanted this one yesterday. Is your favorite one?
Yeah.
And we've probably seen a couple bigger ones, but we just
Yeah.
couldn't get close enough to them. And this guy
That's
gave you a
different, eh?
good
yeah,
shot to take. And
yeah. And the way the deer were this last couple of days here was just they were windy and then just flighty and just taking off before we could even get close to them, even playing the wind. But
Yeah.
so this one, it was good. This one had a good chance on them and worked out in the end.
yeah.
What a privilege it is to hunt with a child, parent, or best friend. Relationships are strengthened, both heartfelt and humorous stories are created and make for lasting memories. With every new hunting trip comes new inside jokes and new titles for valleys or on hills. The smiles one gets retelling the story of how you missed the shot or razzing the other person about how they missed theirs. The beautiful landscapes highlighted by the sunsets of Saskatchewan help to cap off a good day of hunting, whether you harvest an animal or not. One thing that will remain is that those will be the first of many. Thank you for joining the pursuit.